Gold Award Girl Scout Ella Hansen knew through her experience that books positively impact children and can inspire them to become involved in their communities, help them academically, encourage them to think more deeply and creatively, and more. She wanted other children to have the same affinity and positive experience with books as she did. Ella discovered that since 2004, the number of Americans who read for pleasure has decreased by 30%. Through further research for her project, she also discovered that book sharing programs can be a catalyst for improving reading motivation. Ella decided to team up with her local Parks and Recreation and Rotary Club to promote reading and start a free library initiative. The libraries needed to be strategically placed in areas where kids and families frequented, so she needed permission from multiple local agencies. Pitching her project concept was a critical step in Ella's project, as it not only gave approval for the placement of her libraries, but it raised awareness of the issue and educated and inspired others about her project. In order to track her project's success to increase reading rates in her town, Ella measured the flow of books in and out of each of the libraries by finding and coordinating with a volunteer steward for each library. One of the challenges Ella faced with her project was town bureaucracy, but she was able to overcome it through her outreach. Ella said, "I learned that I'm very persistent and that I can have a much bigger impact on my community than I thought."
The purpose of my Gold Award project, Embracing Community Arts, was to help students in my community by making literature and the arts accessible, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the height of the pandemic, libraries and schools were completely closed, limiting access to literature and the arts, and cost can be a barrier to the arts for many families. Regardless, I wanted to provide a solution for these issues. Through my Gold Award project, over 1,600 book and art kits were distributed to students in my school district. I also created and led virtual dance classes and read aloud to students virtually. My original intention was to serve students in kindergarten through 7th grade. However, as I progressed through my project, I was able to expand my audience to serve the needs of students from kindergarten through 12th grade. Parents have said that their students have read more and engaged in the arts, when it otherwise would have not been possible due to financial barriers or the pandemic. And this was made possible because of my Gold Award project. Embracing Community Arts has been implemented as a part of the Youthful Maine monthly distribution and is a monthly part of the classroom curriculum in the Biddeford School District. My Gold Award project allowed me to find my leadership voice and make decisions that represent my values while making an impact on my community.
My Gold Award project, Learning and Loving Literacy Bags, addressed the lack of literacy at home in my community. Through the research, I discovered that students in kindergarten through 4th grade need a strong foundation in literacy to be successful in academic futures. For my project, I created 54 different literacy bags which offered an opportunity for students to read at home either by themselves or with their families. The bags also included hands-on academic activities and different leveled books based on the bag's theme. Through my Gold Award project, I also worked with the Title I after-school program reading with 1st grade students who are only literate at the kindergarten level. I worked with these students to increase literacy rates, but also enhance their enjoyment of reading. Due to the pandemic, I had to adjust my project, which was kind of really hard. With schools being closed, students could no longer use the bags. I was unable to meet in person with students. I problem solved and continued reading to the students online. My goals was to enhance student literacy at home and after school. I was able to measure my progress impact using Fountas and Pinel data, as well as observe my kindergarten teachers. Through my Gold Award project, I learned that I can persevere and not give up when challenges arise, especially speaking on this thing. It's kind of hard.
Not many people realize that losing a pet can be just as devastating as losing a loved one. Gold Award Girl Scout Ellie Giudice experienced this firsthand and decided this would be the focus of her Gold Award project, Gifts for the Grieving. Through her research, Ellie discovered there are few resources to help pet owners cope with the pain and grief they experience. She also discovered that loss of pets is treated by psychologists in the same way loss of family members is treated, due to the same impact the loss has. Ellie's goal was to give families comfort by providing area veterinary clinics with comfort kits to distribute to grieving clients. Ellie's kits included a pamphlet of grief resources, ecologically friendly blankets to bury or wrap deceased pets in, a children's book for younger pet owners that focuses on pet loss and grief, and a memorial keepsake ornament for remembering their pets. To sustain her project, Ellie enlisted the help of a younger Girl Scout troop and an area 4-H club. Because of COVID, Ellie had to get creative in sharing her knowledge, so she created an instructional video on how to create the kits and comfort items, as well as taught helpers how to create them via Zoom. When asked what she learned through her Gold Award project, Ellie said, "I am able to solve many problems and am able to figure out solutions to sudden and unexpected problems that arise. I can teach people effectively and am able to adapt to changes quickly and effectively."
My Gold Award project addressed the issue of fire safety and CPR training for the visually impaired. Through my project, I taught students at Perkins School for the Blind how to react during an emergency situation. My main goal was to make sure students felt comfortable in dealing with emergency situations and any action they may have to take in the case of an emergency. I teamed up with local fire department, school staff, and pulsar alarms to teach these skills by introducing methods that these students have never encountered before, including how to safely evacuate the building, shelter in place, how to handle kitchen fires, how to effectively call for help, as well as how to assess whether CPR is needed and how to perform this life-saving technique. This curriculum I developed is being used each year at the school for the visually impaired students as part of the school's college preparedness course. And this was also shared by them with other schools throughout New England. Students had to demonstrate proficiency in each skill taught, helping to measure the effectiveness of my lesson plans and overall goals of my project. My Gold Award project has taught me that when you are passionate about an issue, it is easier to make a lasting impact in the world.
For my Gold Award project, I created the Giving Garden for the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter in Waterville, Maine. I connected with the shelter's director and volunteer coordinator and discovered that the shelter feeds 25 to 50 households a day and runs a community food pantry that is open to the public. I also discovered that it is very difficult for the shelter to obtain fresh vegetables that people were willing to donate to them. So I decided, why not make it so they can have their own? So that's exactly what I did. To not only provide fresh food, but also teach them how to plant, tend, and harvest it themselves. Skills that would benefit them long into the future. With the help of my team, I built a raised garden bed for the shelter to plant their own vegetables to have for their meals. The shelter staff and residents were able to collect vegetables from the seedlings that I had started and transplanted them into the garden bed. My project was a huge success. It even inspired some of the residents of the shelter to create more garden beds to increase the number of vegetables that they were growing. There are also added therapeutic benefits of gardening for the residents, healing from trauma. I learned many new skills from my Gold Award project, including organization, better communication skills, and most importantly, being a more confident leader.